Hello, this is Judy. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be working on the Stamp of the Month card kits for May 2022. This is a close to my heart special every month. You can get it for $5 with a $50 purchase. Or if you are a VIP of mine or anyone's, you can get it for free with a $50 purchase. Or you can buy it outright for $18.95. If you buy it from me, I will send you a kit to make some cards with it so that you can use it right away when you get it. And it's just to get it out of the package, get some ink on it, and try it. It's really unique to me. I don't have any stamp sets like this with the mountain range and everything. I probably have something like it somewhere, but I don't know off the top of my head. So I'm saying I don't. And the reason I'm saying that is because I've made some cards with this that are unique to me. So it's got some really nice sentiments along with this scene of the mountain range. And you matter in this world. You can do anything. You know, love, friend, peace. It's a beautiful day to go after your dreams, and strength doesn't come from what you can do. It comes from overcoming the things you once couldn't. So it's very inspirational. I really like it. It'd be great for guy cards, right? With the mountain scene and everything. You don't have to do anything special to it or add flowers or anything like that. But you know me, I have to add bling to it. So these are the cards that I have made. And this will be kit number 1. You're going to get two cards to make. One will be a fancy fold, and then one will be this one, which is a piecemeal type of card. And what you do is you stamp it on several different pieces of paper, cut them out, and layer them to make your scene. Different colors, no coloring required. I did do a bunch of inking, and I used my shimmer brushes, and I used some bling and my white gel pen, and you know, all kinds of things. I tried lots and lots of things on these cards. I made several of them. They're going to be going out to my VIPs. So happy is it National Scrapbooking Month? Yes. So close to my heart is celebrating that in a big way. And I want to say thank you to my VIP customers because I really appreciate them. I appreciate all my customers. If you want to become a VIP, let me know because you do get lots of benefits from me and close to my heart. So this is one idea. Okay, so I stamped it on a gray type of background because I want it to look like either sunrise or sunset. I stamped it on a blue, which is part of the Fresh Paint collection. It's their paper. I tried to incorporate that into my card kits of the month. And then I use wood grain for the water reflection idea. I shimmer brush to do the sun, cut out some clouds, and it's done. So here's the next one. Same kind of idea as that one. I use a little bit darker gray. I'm using up some of the gray that was in my gray bin. The same idea with the blue and the wood grain. This one had the wood grain in the mountain range and the blue on the bottom. And what I did for the clouds is I inked some white paper and then I stamped on it and cut them out. This has that bulk paper from Fresh Paint as the mountain range. I love that effect. It just adds color. You can still tell it's a mountain range. And again, stickles on the mountains. And the white gel pen really adds some nice detailing on there. This doesn't have any of the stickles. It has some of the liquid pearls on here. And I saw someone said to try adding rubbing alcohol to any of your liquid pearls or Nouveau drops or anything that needs to be thinned. So I did that with this bottle of gold pearl, liquid pearls that was quite old and very thick. And it made them very nice. They flattened right out to look like enamel dots. I really like it. This one is very pretty. Again, the mountain range is in that Fresh Paint And this is a lighter color in the background, and then the splatters with the yellow from the sun rays is really pretty. This one has a different wood grain for the mountains, so add a little more texture to them. And I use some of the liquid pearls for the clouds. This one has the liquid glass on the sun, and it has a sentiment down here because there was a boo-boo down here, so I covered it up. This was actually the very first card I made, and I cut it too close, so I had to, I mean, this part wasn't wide enough or long enough, wide enough, whatever you want to say, and so I cut it off to fit it to the front, and then I added a piece of the blue bird cardstock on the inside for a little interest. This one has the fresh paint as the water scene and a wood grain there. There's also a little tree stamp on that stamp set too. It's really cool. And I like the birds too. They thought of everything with this stamp set to make a scene. And this is really nice. This is more of a plain one. It has a very subtle wood grain paper there. And this blue paper is the back of the heart. It's the back of this paper. And I'll show that to you in a second. So this is another one. This one has wood grain for the water and for the top, but they're different sides. And the sun in all of these is a piece of the mix-in paper. So I did that one. And another one. And another one. So they came out really pretty. I just had so much fun making them. I was so surprised. Now, the next thing to say is my Misty. I've had this for a while. I never used it. I could not get used to it. Every time I tried to stamp something, it wasn't correct, which was how it was supposed to be. So you re-ink it, the paper lifted, it moved. I just couldn't get the knack of it. It just wasn't my thing. I found it easier to just stamp and do it that way. But I saw someone cut a piece of a Cricut mat and put it into their Misty and use this to hold your paper. And it is a life changer for me. It has worked so well. I actually used double-sided tape on the back to adhere it to the mouse pad. I'm not going to lift it up because I don't want to move it. I do have a piece of tape here as well to keep it, but it sticks down there. Without paper, it might lift a little. You can hear the stamp stick to it, but it's pretty secure down there. And I don't mind that I got some ink on here. Once it's all inked up and done, I can throw it away and use another one because I have several mats that are cracked that I can cut up that aren't good to use in my Cricut. So what I did was I put down the mountain range, and then I just put my paper in here and stamped and stamped and stamped and stamped, and it worked so nice. It just was so nice. So I suggest that it's 8.5 by 6.5 is how I cut my mat. And it has been a life changer. I'm going to be using my Misty now. It's been wonderful. So it was great. Okay, so enough of that. And I just put these paper pieces on my sentiments that I have on my Misty so that they don't stick to here. And I had a piece of paper that I had down for the mountain range so it didn't stick. So I just put that there. And then I closed it up and let it sit until I was able to make this video and show you how I do it. So what you'll get in your kit is you'll get an envelope with 2 card bases and all your pieces inside to make this card design. And there's another one too, you'll see later. So you'll open it up. You'll have 2 sets in one, okay? I only put 1 in this one because that's all I need to show you, right? So you're going to get a black base. Now, I inked the edges of these with my ink pad because it's white core, and I just like to have a nice black solid line, okay? the next thing you're going to do is take your gray. This is going to be your base that you're going to build your scene on, okay? And just because my cutter isn't always perfect, make sure your pieces line up good. Some of your pieces might be a little bit long, they might be a little bit short. I'll show you how to adhere to that, or just that if you want while I'm making this. And you're going to get different wood grain pieces to stamp on, and you're going to get one of the fresh paint. Now I chose this one because it was solid blue. I wanted to give put in the kits the ones that were the it was this design, so I cut them like this so several people will get the ones with the drips. It just adds more interest to your paper. And this is one that has that. You can just subtly see the blue drips there. It doesn't add a lot, just a little texture. But I chose to use this for me so that you could have the kits will have the ones with the drips in it. So this is on the other side. All right. So just make sure your pieces, see, this is a little bit longer, so I'll have to trim it. This is pretty close. You might have to trim it a little, but the ones I'm concerned with are if they might be a little short. So just make sure they're not a little short. Build everything on this piece, and then you can trim the edges all in one swoop. Okay, so we're going to put this in first, and of course if you don't have a MISTI, just set it up and stamp it, and it's fine. When you stamp these other pieces, you're going to be cutting them up anyway, so it doesn't matter. But this is the one you want to stamp on first, because it's going to be like your puzzle base. Okay, and I put it, the water reflection of the mountains right at the bottom of this piece. Okay, so that's how I did it. So I'm going to ink this up, and let's make sure I've got this all in camera. And I think I found my setting to keep my camera from adjusting sizes. So sometimes in my videos it would go from close up to far away to close up, and once the video was recorded, I couldn't change it, so it was hard. So I'm just going to press it and put it down and see how it just stays there. I don't have to use magnets or anything. It's so cool. So that's a really good impression. I don't need it to be really good because I'm going to be covering all of that up. So now we're going to take that off, and we're going to put this down, and we're going to stamp this. Now you could get you'll get two designs out of each one of these, okay, depending on how you want to make them. You'll have to use some of your own supplies to do that. So this one looks good. I'm going to make it a little bit blacker for the top. I want the mountain range to really be black. All right, that looks good. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to flip it. And this is where you're going to get your second design, okay? So you can decide which one you want to use where. One will be the top and one will be the bottom. Oops. All right, we'll do a second stamping. Another good reason I just can't believe that I haven't used this. If I had known about this Cricut mat trick a long time ago, this MISTI would be worn out. Okay, so this one is done. Now we're going to use this one. So we're going to put the heart side down first, just so you have the hearts facing up. Because I did it a couple times and I had it reversed where the hearts were upside down, so I couldn't use the back side. I probably could have, but I didn't want to because I didn't want upside down hearts on my page, on my cards. All right, and again, this one isn't as important for getting deep dark black lines unless you're going to use it as a mountain range. Okay, so that one's done. All right, so also in your kit you're going to get this little piece of yellow, and this is part of the mix-in paper. All right, and I'm going to use it to stamp my sun and then cut my sun out. And this is our chamois, so I'm just going to make sure I don't have any ink down because I'll get it all over. And see how that stays there? It's so nice. It wiggles just a tiny bit because I tried to cut it precisely. I got a little bit of room down here, but that's all. Cricut mats are not the easiest thing to cut. I used my guillotine cutter to do that. Or not my guillotine, I have a big rotary cutter my husband got at a sale. So it's one of those ones that goes like this. It's for like 20 sheets of paper at once. But I hardly ever use it. But it's really nice for things like this. Before I get done with this though, I want to do my sentiments. So I lined this sentiment up. Actually, I'll show you how I did it. I lined it up along the line, okay? So right along that line in my Cricut mat. And this one I lined up along the 6. So I'm gonna press it and get it picked up, and see it does stick to your mat, you know, when you first do it. You're gonna get some of these pieces of white. They might be long, they might be short, I don't know. I tried to make them long enough for your sentiments. So I'm gonna do that one. I'm going to do this one. And I did it so that the white will be right in the middle, so that it'll stamp in the middle, so check it. Okay, so this one's a little bit low. You could have it right on the line, you know, whatever you want. It's a little crooked actually. So let's adjust that a little bit. Still not. All right, peel it off and put it on the paper. See, the hard thing about these stamps is it sticks to your fingers, and so, all right, so that looks better, right? Okay, so pick it up. All right, and the top one looks pretty good. You might have to trim these a little bit when you're done. It's up to you. You're going to get some layering pieces of blue and yellow to use, depending on what you want. You can use either one. And then you can go ahead and stamp it. I'm going to do it a little bit darker. Just so glad that I can use my Misty. All right. Okay, much better. Now make sure I clean it off. Try and keep my Cricut mat as clean as I can, but it actually worked really well when I was doing this, I'll tell you, because I had little pieces and I could line it up right with the line there and have the water stamped perfect. So there are advantages to having it inked. Okay, so this is done. All right, did I clean all these? Yes. So now I'm done with my Misty. Oh my goodness. Until my next card. I'll take these off. I almost grew on it because I've been using it so much. I really had a lot of fun making these cards. Okay, so where's the stamp set? Here it is. Make sure you put it back on your carrier sheet. All right. Now this next one, I actually need to do my sun, and I forgot. It's up here. I forgot I gotta do my sun. All right, let me take this off, and let's put it on some scrap paper. Because I'm going to stamp onto this. No, that's good paper. I don't want to get that dirty. Here's a piece of scrap paper. All right. I don't need a stamp block for this, and I'll show you why. We're going to add just some black to the sun. And we're going to take the paper and we're going to press it down on there. So now I can cut that out. And I'm going to do another one on the back. Oops. Don't drop it on your inked pieces. And put it on there. peel it off. So now I can cut that out. It's all I needed. It doesn't need to be anything definite. I just need a general idea where to stamp that. And that's why I should have done it while it was in the MISTI. But you can do this with any stamp, right? Just to get the initial image down. All right, so cut this out. And it doesn't have to be precise along the bottom because the bottom is going to be tucked under. And this is one, when you cut out the image, you're going to cut right along the black line. And if you want a solid black line, you can outline it with a marker or a pencil, or use a sponge dauber to apply some ink to the edge. I'm going to ink it with the lemonade ink just to give it a little more definition around the outside. Okay. And then when you add, if you add stickles or your liquid glass or whatever to the edges, then all that imperfection hopefully won't show. All right. And you can do this with any paper you have. You know, I'm just giving you the idea. So that's what's so nice about the stamp set. All right. Second thing, I'll show you. I have a mess on my desk. It's the clouds. Okay, they give you a large cloud and a small cloud. And you're going to get a piece of white paper in your kit, and you're going to stamp your clouds. Okay, I used my ink dauber and Bluebird ink, and I took it like this, and I just went on the paper like this. So you can use any blue you have that's close to what's in the kit, because your paper will be white. And then I took the Bluebird and I stamped my cloud. Okay, so stamp as many as you want. I did 2 large and a small for the cards. All right, so now that it's all done, and I was going to cut these out before I filmed and I forgot. I'm sorry. And this is another one where inking the edges will hide any of your imperfections. All right. Let's look at this. And I have ink all over my fingers from making these cards. So if you have an area where you cut maybe into it and cut the stamped edge off, you can do this to darken it up. And any parts that are white that you didn't get close enough, you can darken them up. So that's done. We're not going to put that far though, because we're going to use that to color our water. All right, so let's use the, I forgot the stamp on this side. The trials and tribulations of doing it on video. Okay, so we're going to use this as the water. I could use wood grain. All right, maybe we'll do the mountains. We'll use wood grain for the water. So you're going to cut along the mountains. And you're going to use black ink to distress the edges of this so that if you don't get any perfect cut lines, no one will ever know. And cut your moon off, because we already did the moon or the sun. I guess it's a sun in this case, because we do sun rays. Okay, so there's my mountain range. And here's my water. Now this one, you don't have to cut anything out. You just cut along the line. All right. All right. So that's done. I got that. I got my sun. And we're going to do our water now. So if you chose not to do the blue for the water, then just use your ink to make it water. And it has that neat texture look. That's so cool. Now I will want to mention that right here is where the sun is going to be over the mountain. So you want to leave it light here because that's going to be kind of where the sun is going to be reflecting if you want. If you don't want to, you can color it all blue. Doesn't matter. It's your card, your creation. Make it however you want. Okay, so the yellow, I'll show you how I do that. I'm going to take this little dauber, and you can do it after you have it on your card, or you can do it now. And I'm just going to color yellow where the yellow sun will be reflecting over the mountain. And this is where my water is. Make sure you have the reflection going the right way. And we're going to do yellow here. And we're also going to add some white lines with the white gel pen to give that reflected look. Okay, so now we need the black. Well, I'm not going to use black. I'm going to use pewter. This is a medium tone gray. All right. You could use black if you want to. If you don't get your mountains dark enough with the gray, then go ahead and use your black. And I'm not putting a lot where the sun's going to be because it'll be light there. It'll be very light, so I shouldn't use any gray, but I do anyway because I want it to stand out. All right, so that piece is done. All right, so it looks really cool, right? All right, where's my background piece? Here it is. Okay, so this piece now, so cool. So looks good, the moon's there, everything's good. Before I do this though, I want to put my sun rays on. And to do that, I'm going to use my shimmer brush. If you don't have a shimmer brush, you can use a yellow marker, or you don't have to do sun rays at all. You can use just lines with a black gel pen or whatever you may have, just something to give it some lines if you want. If you don't have to. And I'm just going to flick it out. And you can do as intense or as light as you want. And it doesn't matter if you go over stuff because it's going to be covered up. All right. I've had yellow on my hands from that before, so I'm going to clean that up now. Okay, so now this is going to go on here. And let's get my glue. And remember with this glue, it's great glue. You only need a little tiny bit. All right, so just put a little tiny bit on. I'm going to put my sun on first so I don't have to worry about tucking it underneath. Right. If you hear any noises, it's probably my dogs snoring under the table. They get very bored with my crafting, so I put them right to sleep. Ha ha ha, right? So there's my water. And see here where that little line is? Don't worry about things like that. Bring out a pen and fill it in. Now it looks like it was part of your outline, right? So it looks good. Now we're going to do some splatters. Oh, and I should have let the yellow sit there for this, right? All right, there we go. Just tap your brush. Another way you can do it is people will take it and put it on a block or something that's not absorbent and then just flick it off, okay? So that's another way to do it. Now I got to clean that up. All right. Love, love, love the shimmer brushes. If you don't have any, you don't know what you're missing. All right. So now this, let's see, we have the birds and the trees. And the trees, I use evergreen. And you can use whatever you want. And that's another nice thing about using this paper is it's got some green, so it looks like it goes right in with the trees. So I'm going to go right along the edge and just do a couple of them here and there. Maybe one there where the green is. Oh, and I got into my water. That's all right. No one will know it's not supposed to be like that. All right, let's do this. I'm going to stamp this off. And I don't know if this will work, but we'll do a second generation here just to make it look like it's reflecting in the water. How's that? One there. All right. That's good. Okay. Next is the birds, and I'm going to do them in gray. Could use black, but I think gray is better the way that, you know, because it's just two little lines. And when you're stamping an image like this, don't press really hard because you can get it squished and make it too big rather than like that. Okay, so we're going to just do one in the sun rays, and we do one here and one there. 3, right? You've heard me say do things in 3s for whatever reason. It's more pleasing to the eye. Everyone tells us. All right, clouds. Well, we're going to put our clouds on. And I'm going to put my clouds on now because if I want to have them hanging over the edge, I can. If you don't like it hanging over the edge, you can trim it off. You know, whatever you want. Put that one there. And I'm going to pull this one up because this is my little one. Put my little one there and put a big one here. The advantages of using liquid glue. Okay, so now I got to trim this edge here. This is a little too short. If you don't like that, and you can trim it off, but if you don't want to trim it, use a black marker to highlight that, and when you put it on that black base, you won't even see it. It'll be hidden like this. It'll look like it's the black is there. All right, so let's trim it now. Put this edge in. Put this edge in. All right. Now I trimmed off my black from the edges there. So let's go ahead and use the sponge to add it back in. You don't want inking everywhere and then not have it on the edges because it kind of, I see it when I look at a card. Okay, so this is all done. Now we're going to put it on our black base and then put it on our card. Okay. And then your sentiment that you stamped, okay, you're going to cut down. You're going to get strips of the blue. They'll be longer. And you're going to cut it down and layer it onto the blue or the yellow, whichever one you want, and then layer it on there. Whichever sentiment you want. Or you can use more than one. It's up to you. It's your card. Okay, we'll move on to card number 2. The second design anyway. But you get 2 of these and 2 of them. So I forgot to show you how to do the white gel pen. So I've got everything adhered down. And check out this white gel pen. This is not the one we carry. This is the one we carry. So let's use this one so you can see how it works. Because now that I found mine, I warm it up on my fingertip and see how the white is there. Now when you use these, don't press hard on it. Well, just let the ball roll and let the ink out. If you press hard, you get a line in between the gel, and it's probably not the look you're looking for. Okay, and you can go back over it if it doesn't come out the way you want it. And I'm just following the lines of the mountains. And this really adds such a pretty effect. I like going over those black lines that are in this. It looks really good on that wood grain too. Especially where you use the ink to make it dark. And now for the water, you're going to go right where the sun is, and you're just going to go like this. It gives it that look of the reflection, you know, the shiny of the water. It's so cool. This doesn't show up very much because I don't have a lot of ink there. But if you ink your water really blue, you will see it more. Okay. Another thing too, shimmer brush. Now I got to open a clear to do with the clouds and everything. I have my mint here, which is about as close as I'm going to get. I'm going to drag some of it off. I don't want it real inky, but I want, oops, go along my clouds just to add a little shimmer to them. And yeah, do it in clear, not in mint. It doesn't match. And then you can do your water too. All right, so it kind of reflects that green. Hey, that worked well with that tree. Ooh. All right, now we'll go on to card 2. So I'm using Hope and Kindness Stampin' Thin Cuts, and I went ahead and made a template for my thin cuts, and I put it on my mat, and it did lift a couple times. So this is very heavy paper. It's not Weight Daisy. It's I don't know if it's 120 pound, 110 pound, but it's nice for a template. So I did have to use my bone folder to really rub it down onto my Cricut mat, and then it was good. You know, it's just getting it down there to make sure it was okay. I used my magnets a couple times to hold it down, but then I wasn't getting a good impression on my heart or wherever I had the magnets. It was interfering with the stamping. So I took them off, and then it worked fine. I put this down, then I put my images over the top of it. I put paper in it, put the images over the top to line it up, picked it up with this plate, okay? I'm not going to do beautiful and heart. I already did some of those for my own use. They're not going to be on in the card kits. So I'm going to take these, and then you just fit them in your template, and you can see exactly where the placement is, so you're not trying to figure out with your stamp how it's supposed to be stamped. And thank you, heater, for turning off so that it's not interrupting this. I thought I had another heart to do. Yep. Okay. And these are stamped with Memento ink because I'm waiting for something to dry on my intense black close to my heart, and I'll show you that. So I went to a rubber stamping convention, and one of the cool things that they had at one of the booths was their stamp pad was one that didn't have a good grip, and with my fingers it's hard to get a good grip. Even though our stamp pads are really good, it's still, you know, is hard not to get my fingers inky. So what they had was a magnet on their stamp pad and a magnet on this wood block. So when you pick it up, then you have this, and you can put it on. It's still a little movie. The foam adhesive from the magnet set that I had, the foam wasn't real sticky. I didn't wipe my stamp pad off with alcohol to get it all clean, so the foam didn't adhere to it well. So I put liquid glass on it to really give it a good hold, and it's not dry yet. So that's why I'm using the Memento. So, and then I just close it up, give it a good press, and they are stamped. So it's really nice using this Cricut mat. Oh my gosh. Card number 2 is going to be based on this design. However, it's just a prototype. And what it is a faux step card. So this is a card base here. And I added a piece of white daisy to add like a mountain. I don't know what else to call it. But I used some of the paper from the highlights paper pack and the Picture My Life cards, and that is as well. And I cut them down, and these were laying on my table, so that's why I used them. And then this was also part from Stamp of the Month that was in my stash, and then this was a die cut or embellishment from, I have no idea. So, and then on the back is where you can write your sentiment. So this is a Picture My Life card, and again the pieces that go with it. So that's what it looks like out, but see, it stands up, so that's what's so cool about it. So I used that design to make this card, which is really pretty. However, I made this piece way too big, so it's 5.5 by 5.5. So this will not fit in your standard card, so I had to rethink that and how I wanted to do it, but it's the same design. And then there's where you can write your sentiment. I used the Hope and Kindness stamp and thin cuts to make the floral. This bracket piece is also a part of our thin cut selection that is still available. And the Fresh Paint bulk paper pack is this, the hearts that you saw on that mountain card. And then this is from the Mix-In paper pack. So it turned out really well. And this thin cut is also from Close to My Heart, but I thought it was still available. I looked through just because I try and use things that are still available in case someone wants something, but it's a different thin cut border. It's very similar with hearts. And actually it has scale up, so it would have looked really pretty on here. If only I had known, I would have pulled it out and used it. But the kits are already made for the Stamp of the Month, and this is what you can make, okay? So this is my third one that I made. And if you turn the papers over, you can make it different. You will get enough of this paper, which is in a mix-in, to make this type of card. This is that fresh paint on the other side with that paint drip. And there was a little mark here. That's why my hearts are like this. I put these two down, and then I saw that, and I said, oh, I'll put a heart there. I don't normally put them side by side, but that's what happened. I like them staggered better. And I had a tag, so I used the tag to stamp my sentiment, because the sentiments on the Stamp of the Month are just so nice. But that is the prototype. So what you will get in your kit is enough to make 2 of them, and you can use either side of the paper to make it whatever design you want, okay? So you will get this piece, which you will need to score, okay? And I'll put it in the directions or the photos. You're going to score at 1 inch and 2 inch. Very easy. 1 inch and 2 inch on both sides, okay? So you're going to go to the 1 inch and the 2 inch. Then you're going to turn the card around. You're going to go 1 inch and 2 inch. Okay, so there's your card. You're going to fold it. The first score line you're going to fold up. The second score line you're going to fold down. Turn it over, score up. Second line, score down. Whoops. And I pressed too hard and my paper is kind of mottled there, but that's okay. Hopefully no one will look at it, the underside. All right, so that's your base. Then you're going to get 2 of these long ones. You're going to get enough to make 2 of these, and you're just going to fold it in half. Okay. Very easy. Okay, those are your 2 pieces. And what's going to happen is this is going to go on here. Now you could attach this now, but if you want to make sure you have enough room on your sides for your little pieces, you can wait and do it after. Okay. So you're going to have these for your that base is here. You're going to get 2 of these, and then you're going to get 2 of the heart, but I use the dotted side. Okay, and you're going to get 2 of these, so you can use either side. And you're going to get 2 of these, and you can use either side. Now this is Capri. So what I did next was I took the ink pad and I went around the edges. Because if you use the white side, you will need to give it some sort of an edge. You could do another matte. I've seen them with matte, but I didn't want to make these too heavy because they're already going to be bulked up. Okay, so, and this is, I believe it's mint on the other side. It's mint and Capri on this side. So I'm going to use the Capri just because of the color. And you can use whatever colors you have in your stash. If you don't have Capri, that's fine. And then for this piece, I'm going to do it with the black. And my magnet piece is now, oops, got it on there. Oh well, that always happens in a video. It does come off now. So there you go. So I'm going to take that off because it makes it easier to do the edge. So for this piece, yeah, you don't want to do that. Don't get the ink all over. I have another one here I'll use. So I'm going to ink the edges, and I'll show you the difference why I ink the edges here. Make sure the ink is dry. It does take just a minute. I don't know if I got the edge very well. But you can see it now against the white, right? Because it has that black edge. This one kind of blends in because there's no black edge. Again, you can see the difference. Okay, that's why I put the black edge on. So it's up to you whether you want to do that or not. And this is why I need a magnet on my iPad. Or block. I'm going to try and put another circle here, another one of these here. So hopefully it will keep it more secure, because right now it moves around like this because this magnet is so big. Trial and error. Okay, so this piece I'm going to ink the edges as well, although I am going to use it on the black side, so it doesn't necessarily need this. I'm doing it because I don't want to see the white edge. All right. So these pieces are done. Now, where are my other pieces? Okay. You're going to get 2 of these. You're going to get 2 of these. And you're going to get 8 of these. Okay, 4 for each card. So I like using this side, and I've got to put the black along the edge of this as well. And you could use your sponge dauber to do this too, or not. You know, if you don't want to do it, don't. It's up to you. It's your card to make however you want. And these are just the little panels that go along the side of the step part. These stepper cards are very popular, but so intense. So I saw this design. I can't remember where. I need to write down where I see these ideas, and then I can give credit to the people that do them. So, okay, we're gonna make this one. So I need glue, and I like using my liquid glue for this because it helps to give me that wiggle time. And that's not, I don't think that's one that I inked. Oh, it is. I missed an edge. Good thing I saw that. Okay, that's better. Let's get the ink going. And I'm doing this quick for the video. I'd make sure it was really well inked before I do it. Or well glued, I should say. Okay, so you're gonna put this piece on there. We're not putting anything on this part. You can if you want to, but you don't have any pieces in your kit for it, you could make them up on your own if you want. Okay, so this piece is going to go on this side. And you could put a sentiment here as well. You know, that's a good idea too. There's a little piece of glue there. I hope this is in frame. Okay, looks good. So this one goes here. Check the fold on that. That's a little big. Okay. So both of them are down. I didn't check the fold. That one looks good. Okay. Now we're going to put these pieces in the middle. And you can use your bone folder to make sure you get a good crease there. Okay. And these are going to be, hopefully, are perfectly cut in size to put there. And you're going to just leave a little edge around the top and the side. The bottom will kind of be hidden in the fold, but you don't want to go over the fold. Okay. So if you put these down first and then put your middle piece in, then you can get it right in between these two. At least I found that to be easier for me. Okay, so that side there. Check again. Okay. Now your middle part, we're going to put this on first, and we'll have the hearts going down. And you can get a whole different look by using the other side of the paper and, you know, do it in reverse. It's totally up to you. Put it on the other side. Yeah, I can't believe the heater still turns on in May. Oh. I think it's supposed to be nice next week, so that will be a relief. Okay, so those two pieces are good. Now, you're only going to put glue here and here, okay? You only want it to touch around the inside because you want it to be able to open and close nicely. Okay, so you're going to put this right in between those two where the fold is. And you don't have to put glue on this edge until after, you know, then you flip it up and over. Whoops, and I think it moved. That's okay. That's the advantage of having liquid glue. So we're going to fold that up, fold this up, adjust it. The advantage of liquid glue is that you have wiggle room. The disadvantage is that it could move on you. Double-edged sword. Okay. All right, so that looks good. So now, whoops, it'll stand up. Okay, just like that. See why you only put glue right in here? All right. So now we got to put the pieces on this side. So when you do the card with the blue flowers and the blue, with the X, oh, and don't have ink on your fingers. This would go here. These would go here. And you'd use the other side of the heart paper, like that, okay? So you get two totally different cards. And hopefully no one will see that because it's on the inside. All right. We'll have the hearts all going up. And these have no reason, just decoration. Okay, so there you go, front and back. So now this you're going to stamp on. And I already have some pre-stamped just to save a little bit of time. And you will not have tags. I did these on tags just to try it. So you'll stamp your sentiment and put it on here. And then on the back you can leave one blank for you to write, you know, from, to, from, whatever. So that's how you do those. So we're not going to waste our time doing those. Then you're also going to get a bunch of stamped images, and I showed you how I did those. So we're going to color these in, and these are the ones that were I pressed too much on the ink, or you know, whatever. I keep those for myself to use. So you're going to get one of each. So let's see if I can find some that, okay, that. And then there's one with a baby flower. This one, okay. And then you're going to get a little flower. You're going to get two of each of these, and you'll get a heart. These are all from the Hope and Kindness stamp set, because it's just so pretty. Okay, so you're going to get those. Now, the colors that are in this fresh paint collection are all the primary colors. So you got your red, blue, orange, yellow, green. And the colors I used are all the blends. The ice blue is the closest to the Capri. The true blue is for the bluebird. The burnt orange is nectarine. The dark red is well used. It's worn on both ends. Dark red blend. Citrus blend. Oh, and here's the pale pink shades, okay, for the Flamingo. And then I use the light green blend for the green, and my one marker, my granddaughter was playing with it, so I threw it away. It got ruined, but that's okay. So with these, now I know some people don't like to color, so you know what's nice about these markers is they don't leave any lines, so you can just color in one color. You don't have to do any shading if you don't want to, but it looks so smooth. It looks so pretty. So you're just going to add your color and go from there. And the yellow, I used the darkest color, the darkest of the citrus, and I just colored in the flower. And the burnt orange, I believe I used the light end. And if you are a little afraid of coloring, you know, you don't want to go outside the lines, try to outline your image, and then you can go inside and go fast. Then you don't have to go near the edge or take a chance in going outside the edge. And the true blue, I believe this was for the bluebird, and I think I used, let's see, I think I did this for the berries. And these little flowers here that look like forget-me-nots, or, you know, those little blue flowers. And the red, I did for the big flower here. Now again, you go around the outside. And then you can go inside without worrying about it going outside your edge. And there's no lines, so you don't have to worry about any lines in your image. They're just beautiful. And then if you wanted to add shadowing, you would go with the medium or the dark ends of the marker. So these have 3 markers in one, a light, medium, and dark. In case you've never seen them before, they're alcohol markers. Okay, so They're easy to use. Now this ice blue blend is the one I use for the Capri, the middle tone. Let's see. Let's color this one blue. I thought it would have been the aqua blue, but this ice blue is much closer to the Capri. And there's 24 markers in the set. There's 2 different sets, one of the lighter ones and one of the extended. And they come in by the marker, or you can buy the whole set. And if you don't have them, oh, I just love them. They make coloring so easy for all you non-colorers out there. All right, and then we got the Flamingo. I'm using the middle one. And that's how you color the flowers. And then you're going to take them and attach them. I did the one red one here. Let me bring in that prototype. This is the one we just made, but yours will be shorter, remember, to fit into an envelope. This will fit in an envelope without. This one will fit in an envelope. This one will not. It'll fit in a square one, but not a regular size one. Okay, so then I just put my flowers around. And then you're also going to see, oh, and don't forget the little, this piece I put right along the front here, just to give it an extra design element. I really like having the hearts here. It provides an edge too for your eye to see. And then there are a bunch of little hearts in your kit like this, and that's the cutout part of these that I put around here like this. Okay, so that is the stamp of the month. You get 2 of these, one with the blue like this, and I'll bring in that card again. That's this one, and then the black. But of course you can reverse these. Remember, you can reverse any of the papers because they're double-sided to make it however you want. All right, and then you have the mountain card. So yep, just place an order from me that includes this stamp of the month, free or $5 or full price, and I will send you this kit out. Okay, and I've already got the packages ready, so those that have already ordered, they're going to be in the mail tomorrow. Okay, thank you so much. If you have any questions, give me a holler and I will help you out. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate your business.